Hello and welcome to Love Samantha Lee, the More Than Just Pretty podcast. I'm your host, Samantha Lee, and here we explore love, life, spirituality, and relationships through the lens of real beauty, the kind that begins the moment you decide to be unapologetically yourself. Join us as we dive into heartfelt discussions that challenge, inspire us, and connect us. Are you ready to embrace your true self? Let's begin. What's up, family? I'm excited to be here today, you guys, because I have a praise report. God woke me up this morning. Well, not woke me up this morning because this morning, I went to work out. It didn't happen till mid-afternoon. But a battle that I've been fighting privately for years, I've been waiting on a response for, came through. And y'all, this has been a long time coming. I mean, I actually didn't even anticipate it because I've been waiting for so long. I'm like, I don't know if this is ever going to happen. So, I'm just going to keep trusting God. Well, this answer came, and y'all, it came earlier than everyone anticipated in my world. There was a lot of like, oh, well, the deadline's this and we don't know that. And so I wasn't even expecting this answer was not supposed to happen. In fact, based upon how things normally go, I wasn't supposed to get an answer for months. And even though it's been well over a year, it's like, okay, I got an answer earlier than anticipated. I waited longer than I wanted to, but I still got the answer before I anticipated. And it was okay. I was like, okay, God, I feel you. I see you. I see you. It's a breakthrough. It's a breakthrough. It's a breakthrough. I got y'all. I went on my knees. I started crying, started praising him. I just was like, God, you are so good. Like, why would I'm so glad I didn't, turn away from you. I'm so glad I didn't doubt you. I'm so glad that I stayed faithful. And y'all, I'm not going to say I had the best behavior last week because let me tell you about last week. So before breakthrough happened today, last week was back to back to back to back to back trials. Like literally every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. There was something that happened each day, being attacked in different areas of my life. And it was hard for me to really see God because I'm like, okay, God, you say you're with me and I want to believe you are, but there's so much that's happening. I don't know where you are. I don't know where you are. And I just kept speaking, okay, so breakthrough's going to happen. Breakthrough's going to happen. Breakthrough's going to happen. Breakthrough's near. Breakthrough's near. It's got to be a breakthrough. I've got to be a breakthrough. And guess what? It was a breakthrough. So I'm here to encourage somebody because I know that people are dealing with back to back to back to back trials. And a lot of times we give up in those moments. We settle in those moments. We compromise in those moments. We turn the opposite way in those moments. We allow ourselves to be distracted in those moments. We get discouraged and we doubt God in those moments. I'm here to tell you that God is real and that their breakthrough is near and that there are things that happen on the other side of trials. The kingdom is backwards. It doesn't get easier before it gets harder. It gets harder before breakthrough happens. The trials come. Why? Because the enemy wants to stop us. The enemy wants to discourage us. I'm going to bring you back to the story of Job. Now, Job, for a lot of people, we all know the story where Job is, dealing with trials in his life, dealing with some trials. And what happens with Job beforehand is that Job is an upstanding citizen. Job is that guy. He's holy. He's righteous. People know of him. He's very successful. He's been blessed. He's got kids. He's got a beautiful wife. He's living his life. Okay. And he's, again, an upstanding man of God. And so you see Job, and then you get cut to heaven where the angels and the enemy are in line to speak with the Father. And once the enemy gets to the front of the line, he's over here, telling God, listen, I've been here, I've been there, and I'm just trying to find somebody to destroy, just trying to find somebody to get in my snare. That's what I'm looking for. Just prowling around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. That's what I'm doing. And God says to the enemy, have you considered my servant Job? Now, y'all, in that moment, in that story, I think as I've gotten older and I've seen, it's like, okay, God, he doing all the right things, right? He living his life right. You saying he righteous. All of this is what you're saying. But in that same breath, you offer him up to the enemy and say, hey, why don't you torment my servant Job? Why don't you torment him? And the enemy's like, listen, I've tried. Okay. You have had a hedge around his livelihood, around his family, around everything he's built. So I haven't been able to penetrate that boundary. But I guarantee you, God, if you let me at him, he will turn away from you. He will curse you and pray to die, or curse you and die. That's what it says. And God's like, okay, have at him. Do your thing, enemy. Because I believe in Job. I know that Job is going to pass this test. And he does exactly, the enemy does exactly what he says he's going to do. He gets them. It's like 4 things at one time. 4 things, 4 hard trials that are going on. The only caveat God gave the devil was, don't touch him. Don't harm his person. You can harm everything around him. You can take everything away. Take his wealth, take his workers, take his wife, take his kids. You can take all of that, but don't hurt him. The enemy does that. He doesn't take away the wife, but he takes away everything else. Back to back to back. 3 things one day. Somebody shows up, says one thing. Somebody shows up, says another thing. Somebody shows up, says another thing. And Job tears his clothing and prays to God. And a lot of us would look at that like, what? Like all these different things. Like when you think about Job, all his kids passed away in the passage. All his kids passed away. He lost all of his wealth, all of his possessions. Everything he had built for years, all gone in a matter of a couple minutes. And yet he's still faithful to God. So the enemy goes back to God and says, hey, listen, let me get another swipe at him. I am sure that if you let me get another swipe at him, I won't take his life, but I'm a plague him. I'm a send some boils, some things on the skin, make him incredibly uncomfortable. I guarantee you when I'm done with him, he's going to curse you and he's going to die. And God's like, okay, don't take his life, but I'll let you plague his body. I'll let you put disease and harm his person. And so the enemy does that. And at that moment, his wife is looking at Job's wife is looking at him like, okay, what are you doing? What are you doing? Okay, you over here, now you're sick and you over here praying to God. What God are you talking about? We've been praying to this God, and it's been cool to praise God and do all this stuff when we was winning. Now we losing, and we losing in a big way. And now you're hurt and you're sick. The patriarch of our family, and you over here praying to God? No, curse God and die, which is exactly what the enemy has said to God. That's what he wanted. That was his goal. That was what he wanted Job to do, was curse God and die. Curse God and die. See, family, the enemy wasn't after his money. And the enemy wasn't after his kids. The enemy wasn't after all his workers or his empire. No, the enemy was after his allegiance. And so as I was going through what I was going through last week, back to back trials, y'all, I emotionally ate. I ain't gonna lie to you on here. I had my Publix Coconut Road frozen yogurt that I was eating on. I ain't gonna lie. I was doing that every night. Got the waffle cone with the caramel syrup. Yep, you heard me. Okay. I was snacking it up. I was just emotionally just all over the place because it just seemed like back to back to back. And I kept reminding me, okay, breakthrough is near. God is near. Breakthrough is near. God is near. Breakthrough is near. God is near. I'm here to tell you on the other side, breakthrough was near. That those back to back to back to back situations was just a test. Are you still going to be faithful to God? Are you still going to maintain your allegiance to our Creator? And some of you guys today, you're struggling. Things are getting tough in your life and it's hard to see God. And y'all, I mean, I've gone as far as to say that I didn't even know whether God was with me or not. I was like, God, am I going in the wrong direction? Am I doing, like, am I out of your will? Because I don't see you. I just feel like I've been stagnant. And God showed me last week when I'm dealing with all this opposition, I looked at it like, okay, this is a sign I'm on the right path, because I wouldn't be facing opposition if I wasn't in the right place. That's a shift from when I started this walk, when I started walking with God, I was feeling like when I was going through things, I'm like, oh, God's not with me because things are hard. Now I know the kingdom is backwards. I know God is with me, or I'm going in the right direction when I'm facing opposition, because the enemy wants me to stop. If I wasn't facing no opposition, that means I'm not in the right area, because the enemy's like, I ain't concerned about you. You ain't on the field. You're not running for a touchdown, so I ain't gonna tackle you. It's when you get on this field and you start running with that ball that I start pressing you and throwing things at you to get you to stop. So I'm here to encourage people today as you're listening to me. I know it's been hard. I know it's been hard. I know the things that have happened in the season. You feel like you're stagnant. You feel like you're not going nowhere. And you're like, I stepped out on faith. I left the job. I left the relationship. I left this. I left that. I did these things thinking that this is where God was calling me. And now I just feel like he's abandoned me. All these things are happening. Things have gotten harder. It hasn't gotten easier. Where are you, God? Did I go in the wrong direction? And I'm here to tell you, no, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. That the wilderness is a place of transition. There are things that you learn in the wilderness that you can't learn in any other season. I'm telling you that from the other side. And y'all, I haven't made it all the way there yet. But a pivotal moment happened this morning. And again, I was faced with new challenges every day last week. Things that I can't tell you how much it discouraged me. I can't tell you how much I just felt like it wasn't fair. But then this morning, it's a huge breakthrough that comes just in a text message, just on my phone. Unprecedented, didn't see it coming, wasn't supposed to happen now. And here's God, being God, showing me that as long as he's on my side, as long as he is with me, I don't have to fear anything. And so I want to bring up some signs for people, a breakthrough. Because I think sometimes we don't realize that the kingdom, I ain't gonna lie, it's a little backwards. It's a little backwards. The kingdom's signs of breakthrough is not like typical things. It's challenges, it's trials, it's discouragement, it's doubt, it's distractions. It's your family saying you can't do it. It's the media saying you can't do it. It's being attacked. It's people telling you that are closest to you, telling you that you're going in the wrong direction. It's discord between you and your family and your friends or whoever. Like your spouse, whatever that is. That's what the signs of breakthrough are, is challenges. And it's challenging. And a lot of us, we settle in those places. We compromise in those places. We allow those circumstances to overtake us. And therefore, then we turn another way. We're no longer as faithful as we were to God. Our allegiance is no longer there. I have a friend of mine I was speaking to. She's going through a trial in her life. And she was praying for a specific outcome. And I said to her, listen, even if God doesn't do what you want him to do, stay faithful. Even if the outcome isn't what you desire, stay faithful. Because sometimes we think we know better than God what the best outcome is, and we don't. Y'all, I'm telling you guys this from a place of praying for things and remembering things that I was praying for in different seasons of my life, where I now know, like, God not giving it to me in that moment, or God not giving it to me at all, was a blessing. Like, I'm grateful for the things he delivered me from. And some of those things was my own doing. I'm grateful for the things he said no to, because I see now God knew better than I did. I'm grateful for the people he removed. I'm grateful for the situations he took me out of. I'm grateful for the doors that he closed. And even though I wanted them open, I'm thankful that he let them stay closed. That I prayed for things and I begged God for things, and I see that God is sovereign. And I came on here because I promised God that whenever when something in my life happened, I will be responsible with blessings. I won't just keep it to myself, because there's somebody who is facing a trial. There is somebody who is going through some things, and it seems like this is not what God has promised you. It's been harder. It's been challenging. It's been hard to see God. It's been hard to see God. It's been hard. Family, I've been there. I actually looked up some signs. I'm gonna tell you guys some signs of breakthrough that I saw on the. I looked at this thing because I was um trying to figure out if I was going through a breakthrough or not. And so, like I said, this particular website had 20 signs. But one of the first sign is resistance. The resistance will increase the closer you get to your goal. Family, that is, I can't even add to that. The resistance gets crazy. The resistance gets crazy, and it almost feels like, okay, God, I'm going the wrong direction. I must not have heard you correctly. It gets you to stop and pivot in the wrong direction. That's what the enemy desires. So expect resistance. Number 2, the temptation to compromise and settle for less. Family, when the enemy wants to stop you, he's going to make you doubt God, doubt God's provision, doubt if God can do it, make it seem like it's hopeless. So then you're like, okay, well, if I'm questioning whether or not God is actually going to show up or not, maybe he's not going to. So now I settle because I'm not really sure, based upon what I'm seeing, the resistance and all that's happening that I didn't think would happen. Maybe I should just settle. Maybe God's not going to come through. Maybe the relationship isn't going to happen. Maybe I won't get the job. Maybe I won't get to the level of success that God has shown me. Maybe I won't be the person that I thought I would be. God, the doubts start to increase, and then we settle. Maybe this is the best I can do. And you settle. You compromise. It's just a sign that you don't trust God like you say you do. How do I know? Because I've been there. Don't settle, family. The temptation to settle is close before breakthrough. Well, the temptation to settle gets stronger the closer you get to breakthrough. I said that wrong. Number 3 is everything is contrary to what God had promised, or what you thought God had promised. It seems like everything in your life is going in the opposite direction of what you thought God was going to do. Like for me, I told you guys before, the YouTube numbers, it was stagnant. Nothing was moving. Podcast, same thing. Instagram was kind of stagnant. TikTok was kind of stagnant. I'm like, okay, God, nothing is moving. You're telling me that this is what you desire for me to do. I'm trying to stay faithful. I'm trying to stay consistent, but I'm not really seeing you move in the way that I thought you would. If this is where you want me, then why don't I see movement? Why don't I see increase? And so it had me questioning my faith and what I was doing and the steps I was taking. This is to try to convince you that God has abandoned you. But remember that God is faithful, even when we are not. Number 4 is enemy plants seeds of doubt. Y'all, I put this as there's doubt, distractions, and discouragement. You get discouraged. You feel like it's hopeless. That what you're hoping for, or the outcome you're hoping for, just seems absolutely impossible. Doubts, where you're questioning yourself, questioning your abilities, questioning God. Distractions, where the enemy will send people, places, social media, anything to fill your mind up and focus on the wrong things instead of the right things. And the last but not least of the signs I want to discuss today is exhaustion and weariness. An enemy can't take you out, he wears you out. Family, last week I was worn out. All I could do was just sit there and pray and just trust that God was going to do something. Trust, and kept speaking that over my life, like breakthrough is coming, breakthrough is near, breakthrough is near, breakthrough is near. Every punch, every hit that I took, breakthrough is near, breakthrough is near. Family, this is not like something I've done my whole life, because in the past, one of those punches would be enough to set me in a different direction. But now that I've gotten older and I understand God a little bit more, and I understand my walk a little bit more, I know that it gets harder. The resistance gets harder the closer you get to your goal, the closer you get to purpose. And so I hope that someone on here is encouraged. The reason why it's getting so much harder, the reason why it seems like it's so far away, the reason why you feel like God is not with you or not in the decision you've made, is because you are in alignment. I know that sounds crazy, but the enemy uses warfare to get us off track, to question God. That's what he does. And he's really, really good at it. I've met people, they were so on fire for God. They're praying, they're going to church, they're doing everything. Their relationship with God personally is strong, because y'all, church don't matter. People be up in church and they think that that's their calling card to the kingdom. No. Having a day-to-day relationship with God is how you get stronger. Reading your word, exercising your sword of the spirit, I mean. That's how you get stronger. All this other stuff, oh, I'm in church every Sunday, blah, blah. That don't mean nothing to me. That don't mean nothing to me. Where's the fruit? Fruit is love, joy, peace, patience, goodness, kindness, faithfulness, and self-control. If your life does not exemplify those things, that makes me question the root. If I don't see love, if I don't see joy, if I don't see peace, if I don't see love, joy, peace, patience, goodness, kindness, faithfulness, and self-control, if I don't see those things exemplified in your life, I got to question the root. Not enough of us are testing the spirit by the spirit. We just believe blindly when people say they're of God and they're this and they're that. Is what they're saying in alignment with God's word? If it's not, then you've got to question the root. But there are people that are listening to me that, because of where they are in their walk and what's happening, the enemy he ups the ante, family. He does not want you to get to purpose. He doesn't want you to win. And so some of us give up. And back to my point before, is that I've seen people go so hard for Christ and then they get distracted. How does it normally happen? How do people normally get distracted? Relationships. People's connection with somebody else. They get so hyper focused on that they forget about God. They seeking validation from that person versus seeking validation from God. Or They get distracted with work, money, making money. Opportunities come, quote unquote opportunities that aren't opportunities at all. It's just a well-paid distraction. It took you away from purpose. Family, part of the reason why I did this podcast is because I felt like, well, first, God wanted me to, kept coming up. But I wanted a space where I could be completely honest with you guys. Because I know that when I go through things and grow through things, it's my responsibility to teach, to share the lessons I've learned in the journey. That's what I'm trying to do now. I know things have been hard, and it seems like it's been back to back to back. You're getting tired, and it's hard to believe, and it's hard to see God in the midst of the storm. But I'm here to tell you that God is near. He has not left you. He never leaves us nor forsakes us. That when it gets harder, breakthrough is closer. So family, push through. The enemy wants your allegiance. He wants your connection to God. So the more you stay planted, the more you stay in the word and walking. I'm not saying be perfect, because behavior never determined our salvation, right? It's not performance-based. It's our relationship with our Creator. And out of that comes a behavior or fruit that distinguishes you from other people. But I want you to stay focused. Keep pushing. Keep trusting God. Keep speaking life over the situations that you're going through and you're growing through. As it gets harder, just know that you are closer. Hope this encourages you today, family. Read up on the story of Job. Read up on the story of Job. It gets harder before it gets easier. And when Job finished his trial, when it was all said and done, he had double for his trouble. Why? Because he was faithful. He never stopped chasing after God. He knew that God was the only one who could give him the answers. He didn't turn away from God. Don't turn away from God, family. The enemy is just upping the ante because you're getting closer to your purpose. Thank you for spending your time with us on Love Samantha Lee, the More Than Just Pretty podcast. It's been a privilege to share this space with you, where we celebrate being unapologetically ourselves. I hope today's episode has encouraged you to embrace your own unique beauty and the beauty in others. Don't forget to follow us and join our community on social media. Share your journey and your insights, and let's continue this conversation. Until next time, remember, real beauty starts with you being true to yourself. I love you, family, and I'm going to talk to y'all soon.